Hey, and welcome back to the channel, Real Life Investing. Uh, Today we're going to talk about that missed opportunity that I mentioned in the earlier, and that missed opportunity is Bitcoin. We want to make sure that we take a good look at Bitcoin and at least understand it and what the opportunity that is available here. So remember that I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. We're here because we enjoy talking about investing topics. And this is real life investing. So we're just talking about real life issues that we run into. One of those real life issues or one of those real life opportunities is Bitcoin. So let me give you three main reasons that I'm looking to invest in Bitcoin. And, full disclosure, I've already purchased Bitcoin and I already own it on several platforms. So just to make sure that you know that. Um, but let's talk about the first thing that we want to talk about is Bitcoin has utility. And in other words, it's very well used as far as it all is it has the ability. Well, let's just talk about what it does. So Bitcoin is a virtual digital currency and it's designed as money. So what you're able to do with Bitcoin, you can buy and sell items, buy goods and services with it. Um, and what Bitcoin does, and the main purpose for it, is that you don't need a bank to be able to buy and sell. So a lot of times when you have to use your debit card, that money comes from the bank. Using the credit card, etc. That money, all these different things. Usually, a bank is like that third party that's involved. But with Bitcoin, you can directly give your money to the other person. So there is no middleman. And so that is the power of Bitcoin, to cut out the middleman and to make it so that your money is free and there's no central exchange that you have to work with. Uh, it's decentralized so that you don't have to worry about someone holding on to your money. And the banks in the past have, in bad financial times, have just held people's money and say, "Hey, we're holding this money, you can't get it out," etc. But with Bitcoin, you don't have to worry about people holding your assets. You have your asset and you have access to it. Um, of course, there are a lot of people who are trying to change these laws or change these different things. But just to give you a heads up, that's the power of Bitcoin, and that's the reason why Bitcoin has become so popular. Um, so let's just go ahead and mention the fact that there are 119 countries right now who allow and who have declared Bitcoin to be legal as far as like making legal exchanges with it. So there are a few countries that do not see Bitcoin as legal, and they have banned it. But those are just a handful of countries. We're not going to go over those right now because, believe it or not, those countries vary from month to month. Kind of sounds weird, but it's true. Um, there are two countries, El Salvador and the Central African Republic, that are adopting Bitcoin as legal tender. And what we say by legal tender, that means that anything that you can buy in that country with the cash of the country, you can also buy it with the Bitcoins. And it's used the same way as the paper money. So just a heads up on that. So that's going to be the power of Bitcoin in those particular countries. Um, El Salvador is now using Bitcoin uh, to back its currency, and the Central African Republic is doing the same thing. So they're using Bitcoin to back their currency. Kind of like the same way back in the 70s that the United States used to use gold to back its currency. Um, you want to have something to support your currency so that you don't have like mad inflation going up and down all over the place. So that's the reason why these two particular countries are using Bitcoin. They don't have access to a lot of gold or anything of that nature, and they want stability for their particular countries. They want their currency to be stable, and so they're using uh, Bitcoin as their major asset, and they're also allowing it to be exchanged um, just to keep prices at a decent level. Although Bitcoin does go up and down and is kind of volatile a little bit, at least it's stable. And in the United States here, we're as much as we complain about the economy, our economy is so much more stable than other countries throughout the world. So Bitcoin is one of the things that is helping some of these less fortunate countries to try to stabilize their currency. So, just a thought on that. So, definitely that's important. We definitely want to make sure that we keep in mind that even if the United States has not uh, used Bitcoin to its fullest, there are other countries out there who are using it and are going to continue to use it uh, into the future. So let's talk about the second thing that Bitcoin is really good for. As far as like the reason why it's going to be so valuable in the future is because it's scarce. There's not a lot of it. There's only 21 million Bitcoin in existence. So, and most of them have already been brought into circulation. So, one of the things we want to look at is a Bitcoin process called mining, as far as Bitcoin mining. With Bitcoin mining, what we're dealing with is that we have people who are in the digital space uh, called miners, who how can I say they use certain um, algorithms and calculations on their computers and their miners to be able to release the remaining bitcoins that have not been released and bring those bitcoins into circulation. So that's what we're looking at there. Um, but let's talk about why Bitcoin mining is important and is going to lead to further, how can I say, increased valuation of Bitcoin. The reason why it's going to lead to increased further in valuation of Bitcoin, in other words, the increase in prices of Bitcoin, is because of the fact that over time, the amount of mining uh, that is effectively being implemented or allowed to be implemented, I should say, uh, is going to be halved. The next halving, as far as like the amount of bitcoins that are going to be able to be released into how can I say circulation, that is going to be cut in half. So that is going to happen in April of 2024. And what's going to happen in 2024 of April is the fact that okay, we're not going to be able to release as many uh, bitcoins into circulations as we used to, and when you're not able to release as much into circulation as you used to, um, in other words, it's going to be twice as hard to mine those bitcoins, and basically we're going to be getting half as many as we were before. So that is going to lead to a squeeze. Um, and when I say squeeze, that means that we're going to have a supply problem. And since we have a supply problem that's going to occur, if you go back to your basic laws of supply and demand, what is going to happen is the fact that when we have that greater demand and the lesser supply, the price of Bitcoin is going this way. So just a heads up for the future there. We definitely want to make sure that we are very careful about making sure that we understand what is going on with Bitcoin scarcity. There's only so many of them in existence, and we got to understand that that amount will not increase over time. So as time goes on, we're going to see greater and greater development there. So let's go over one third thing, and it's going to be kind of a broad topic, but we want to see that Bitcoin has already been used as an investment vehicle, and it is going to be used as an investment vehicle. Um, this Bitcoin, this digital currency, at first when it was created in 2009, uh, it was less than $1. Now, if you're going to get a single Bitcoin, you're going to have to pay more than $40,000, which is a lot of money for most of Americans, right? Including myself. Um, so this is something to definitely consider. The investment, just like any other investment, goes up and down. So, but let's talk about, let's say that if you bought $1,000 worth of Bitcoin in January of this year, which is 2023, for the sake of the record. And right now it's currently December of 2023 as I speak right now in this video. And so if you bought $1,000 worth of Bitcoin in January, that $1,000 of Bitcoin would now be worth, that same amount would now be worth $2,500 and some change, of course. So the price of Bitcoin has risen by more than 150%, which is a great return on investment. In other words, you would have more than twice, well, you would have more than double your money. So, which is a great investment. Um, Not saying that everything's going to go perfectly with Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency, but I am saying that if you did purchase it at that particular time, you definitely would be seeing more than double your money. Um, so, what we want to consider is that Bitcoin has already been a successful um, investment for a lot of people, including myself. But we definitely want to consider that. We want to make absolutely sure that we understand what is about to happen. Now, let's talk about what's going to happen. um, a lot of you have never heard of a company called BlackRock, but BlackRock currently has, I think, over 10 trillion. I didn't say billion, I said trillion dollars worth of assets. They own a lot of stuff, not just in America, but throughout the entire world. Uh, BlackRock is the largest investment company on earth. And not far behind BlackRock is Fidelity Investments. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of them. And also, there's another company named ARK Investments. And there are 10 other uh, investment companies as well. All of these companies are backing Bitcoin, and they've applied to uh, the Security Exchange Commission, which is a federal agency that allows you to put forth different types of funds. You know, I know a lot of you heard of mutual funds and things of that nature, but they allow you to create certain funds. But the type of funds that they're trying to create right now is an exchange traded fund called the ETF. And these different companies are looking to create ETFs. And once they create these exchange traded funds, they'll be able to take the Bitcoin and they'll be able to invest it in those ETFs. And at this point in time, there's nowhere for Bitcoin to go but up. Like I said, everything has a risk, but to me personally, like I said, not financial advice, but to me, it's a no brainer that Bitcoin is going to be on the rise in the coming year. Not only Bitcoin, but other cryptocurrencies as well. We'll talk about those later, but We just got to cover one thing at a time, one video at a time. So definitely we want to consider diving into Bitcoin because when you've got trillions upon trillions of dollars that are backing Bitcoin, it is not going away, folks. Just say it, it's not going away. So a lot of people might have scared you, said, "Oh, don't think you should get involved with that." Blah blah blah. Now listen, if you can't pay your bills, uh, you definitely don't need to be buying Bitcoin. If you haven't saved any money for personal expenses, you definitely don't need to be buying Bitcoin. But if you do have some money that you want to, say, hey, I want to make some money on the money that I already have, Bitcoin is a great investment. So we definitely want to consider that. So do yourself a favor and make sure that you get involved if you can. I just think this is a great opportunity. Hate for you to miss out on it. Okay, so um, what I wanted to mention to you is that this is not the only opportunity that's out there. There are other ways to make money. There are other things to get involved with. And if you choose not to get in certain things, it's not a problem. But remember that this is one that I've mentioned to you, and one that I think this is going to be pretty good down the road. So we're hoping to see some great things on the horizon. Remember, like I said before, everything has a little bit of risk to it, but as one man said, no risk it, no biscuit. Uh, Pretty interesting, right? But if you've liked what you've seen here, just ask you to share, like, and subscribe to our channel, and click that little notification bell that you'll be notified every time that we make a new video.